Good morning, this is Jack from theartofchart.net, and this is the pre-market video for Thursday the 25th of January. Got a lot of interesting charts this morning. Our disclaimer, we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. We're not here to issue trading signals. Right, now on here we had a slight overthrow at the high yesterday, then we came down, touched wedge support exactly, and found support there. We actually had a nice setup to do a full V yesterday, and it didn't happen, which was interesting because usually in recent months it would have done, and it didn't this time. So what does that mean in the great scheme of things? Well, maybe nothing, but we shall see. Now, the question we've got to ask here is, are the wedges breaking down? Now, we haven't broken trendline support on ES yet, and it could be that this isn't an overthrow. Under what circumstances is it not an overthrow? Well, you quite often see relatively minor breaks of wedge support while it sets up a new support trend line. If that is the case, then we will see a high up here and about the at this trend line, not this trend line, an imaginary trend line above it, which would go through this line and this line. And we would see a touch and reversal there. That's currently in about 2863 area, and there's a perfect match with what we're seeing on NQ. Now NQ, you see, could do this from the other angle. We've had a slight break through the support trend line and not the resistance trend line. Under what circumstances does this is this an unbroken wedge? If it comes back and touches this trend line here. That's in the 7025 area here, and if that is the case, if we see a touch and reversal at that level there, then I will redraw this support trend line to go from here to here, and that will be the new the revised wedge support trend line, and this will still obviously be wedge resistance. Am I expecting to see that? Not really, but I'm just mentioning it because it's interesting. It's something you see quite a lot on wedges, and we could see here that today there is the setup to do that. Stan's expecting this to go a little higher. If we're forming double tops here, you'd expect probably a marginal high. We may be doing that. Keeping an eye on the situation here. It was very interesting, and it was gratifying to see the bears actually deliver on something yesterday, particularly to see them deliver so fast. But as I was saying in the intro video yesterday, it's all about follow through. Yeah, we've seen the first bear move, and we've seen a lot of first bear moves. And what we haven't seen is the second move, which is really would be a sign of significant strength to see. Now, it would be a signal that we're in a two-way market rather than the one-way market would be in rather boringly for quite a while on equities. So we'll see how that goes. Watching these trend lines with interest and these retests with interest. TF made it halfway down to wedge supports, rallying with the others at the moment. Could need a retest of this high. We'll be watching that carefully. No current divergence. ES, by the way, is still on a 60-minute sell signal. NQ made target, TF made target. Right, CL. CL it has made Stan's 66.4 target. We've got another. It's funny, I'm sure I marked that up. Okay, sorry, no, I've still left the word possible in there by mistake. We've got a second 60-minute sell signal fixed. We've got a nice rising wedge, which has not yet broken down on the RSI, and obviously that needs to break down. But we are in a candidate high area here, and we shall see. All right, NG has gone higher overnight, and that's a bit surprising. NG's been a bit wild recently, and this roll has been certainly made the trend lines confusing. I'm watching with interest here. I'm not assuming that this is going to reverse here. We could see this. We could see NG push a bit higher. Watching with great interest. So we'll see how far this goes. We are on a 60-minute sell signal, but that got pretty close to the possible near miss target yesterday. We shall see. All right. HG. HG is possibly forming. This is a possible head and shoulders forming, and if it delivered and got a sustained break below weekly pivot, then that would have a target in the monthly pivot area, which is what Stan's looking for. Well, it all depends on the variance. Oh, well, I'll get to it when I'm looking at bonds. But right, HG. pushing up here a little more. There is an obvious target above here, and that is the megaphone resistance, and it may be that we're going to need to go and hit that before any retracement, or it may be that we'll just hit it and break it. There's a nice head and shoulders here. This is looking as though it isn't going to deliver at the moment. We'll see. If it's not going to deliver, then we may just extend upwards. You see that quite regularly. And it's not reached the point where this is disappearing yet, but it really needs to reverse now and then break down through weekly pivot to deliver a monthly pivot back test. Could be worth forming a second high to deliver the same retracement. We shall see. We do have a 60-minute sell signal fix, so there is an opening for further downside. But what I would note is that if we were to go up to hit this trend line, then we would just be strengthening the sell signal. We could go up there, reverse, and then do a retracement. So watching that with interest. GC, this is peachy. Really, really, really nice. And we're getting, this is expanded into a larger rising wedge. We've reached we've made the target at the 1362.40, which was the retest of the previous high. We've gone slightly above it. We've got a beautiful sell signal fix. I really like this for reversal. The first target on a reversal would be wedge support, currently in the 1338 area. But this is a setup which I'm seeing with genuine enthusiasm. This is nice, and I suspect it's going to deliver. So ZB, now ZB, as Stan was saying on the video yesterday, this hasn't made the higher high that we were looking for on TNX. Does it have to make it? No, it doesn't. But it would probably make it. So we're watching for a possible reversal lower. I've got trendline support at currently at the 147.28 area. I'm not really expecting to see that broken. It could be that it would break, but we'll see. I mean, a higher high on TNX would not require it, and I mean, obviously there's a significant amount of variance between where TNX is and where ZB is, so they're not 100% correlated. So we made a lower low on ZB yesterday, and we didn't make a higher high on TNX, but I like it. It's good. I think a lower low maybe. I'm not really expecting to see it much go far into the 147s. And I'd expect it to find support and reverse back up. That could set up a nice buy signal. It's got a little higher than I would have hoped for overnight, but that's still well in play. We can set up a double bottom here too, which should still be within the reasonable ranges of a nested double bottom. So if we see a retest, I'm not expecting to see much lower. Right, DX. DX, we're seeing a lot of signals suggesting that DX is turning. We made slightly lower overnight. I was saying in the notes last night that we'd lost a lot of divergence. We've gained a very nice 60-minute buy signal back, and we'll see. So this is a nice setup for reversal. Looking at the other currencies, particularly USD, beautiful 60-minute sell signal. Haven't got an obvious trendline resistance here, but I like it for reversal here, and it should at least go and make this trendline here just above 123. GBP USD, beautiful sell signal. Really nice. Again, I don't have an obvious resistance trend line, but there's a very obvious target below it, this rising support trend line, just over 140. USD JPY, we have a nice 60-minute buy signal. So marginal lower low. This looks as though it's going to retrace, looking for a target about in the 109.9 area. USD CAD, we have a 60-minute buy signal. So basically all the USD pairs so far that I've listed have got signals which would suggest strength towards DX. So that actually is most of the US dollar index. So the odds of a reversal back up there have increased considerably. So little double bottom here, looking for a rally. Don't have a clear target for that. Okay, Australian dollar, we've got a 60-minute sell signal, this trend line here, so I haven't worked out what's happening there exactly, but it does look as though it's going to need a retrace soon. And NZUSD, right, okay, yeah, all the currency pairs are on sell signals, but this is the only one that didn't fix overnight. This one's a slightly older one, it's made the possible near miss target. So this is really backing up the idea of a DX rally. So we'll see whether that delivers. All right, KC. KC is broken up slightly over double bottom resistance. It's testing the monthly pivot. It could reject here into a retest of the low. If it doesn't, I've got the double bottom target. If it breaks monthly pivot and converts it, I've got the double bottom target in the 128.25 area, and I expect that to be head. SB still needs a retest of this low, I think. Haven't seen that yet. This looks like a flag for me. ZW. Nice little possible weak 60-minute. No, actually, this is a possible weak 60-minute sell signal that has fixed. We're finding some resistance up here. This could be a rising megaphone here. If so, that could be a flag, although I don't particularly like the position for it. But it could definitely be a rising megaphone. We'll see whether we see a reversal here. CC, I've got this as a rising megaphone, and if we are going to continue up to the next obvious target, that would be the rising megaphone resistance in the 2040 area. So we'll see how that goes. All right, great. In that case, well, I think that's all the questions answered, and that's the video done. So that's a wrap. I shall catch you guys on the Twitter feed, and I'll have this posted as soon as possible.